Come, it is time to keep your appointment with the Wicker Man.
This is the Horrible Film School. Take a seat and rip open those Trapper Keepers. My name is Chris Purdy, and I am here with El Capitan, Mr. Ryan Hootie.
What's up, fellas? Excited to kick off summer with the Wicker Man.
I know, man. It was lined up perfectly. Didn't even plan it that way. And the Lord of Summer Isle himself, Mr. Nasty, my brother Joseph.
Corn rigs and barley rigs and corn rigs are bonny. Was anybody else digging the fuck out of the Scottish vibe of this movie?
I thought it was a fucking musical here for a minute. Thought I was watching the wrong thing.
Left me craving haggis.
And it's right up against Gordon Lightfoot dying. I feel like they were just trying to be Gordon Lightfoot for this entire movie.
What is that, a character from the Buzz Lightyear movie or some shit?
Gordon Lightfoot? Sundown? The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald?
I don't know.
If you could read my mind, if you could read my mind, girl, what a tale my thoughts.
I might have to put that on the Spotify.
Today's assignment, 1973's The Wicker Man. The lesson: flesh to touch, flesh to burn. Don't keep the Wicker Man waiting.
That is such a cool fucking tagline, man.
That's a pretty fucking cool tagline, isn't it? That'd be a badass.
That's the most action you'll get in this movie up until like I don't know, the fucking 75th minute.
It's a slow burn, you might say.
I actually make that joke in my actual review.
This movie for me teeters on not being a horror movie.
It's close.
I think it's a common interpretation of the movie.
It's a common interpretation of you fucking millennial chumps, is what it is.
I need body parts flying.
Now, if you watch the Nick Cage version, that's straight up horror.
Not the bees! Not the bees!
You want to see this done the right fucking way, you fast forward to 2005 or whatever.
Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey! Dude, his fucking lines in that movie are so fucking funny, man. They're so...
We've got the OG out the way. We'll make it to the remake eventually.
Before we hopped on, Joey informed us that Nick Cage apparently drops kicks of a bitch in the movie, so...
Oh, yeah. Nick Cage is at his most Nick Cage in that movie.
He goes fucking stinger splash on somebody at some point in this fucking movie.
Throws it into the corner.
Definitely worth
Scorpion
a watch.
Deathlock. Alrighty, well, this was my choice. Kind of something I stumbled across as necessary viewing for any horror buff, so figured we should cross it off the list together. It was being a blind spot to all three of us. Let's start with the good and the bad. This is what other people think of this movie. Some fan reviews by way of our favorite IMDb. Start with the negative Nancy here. I got a review titled, "Yeah, and if you thought Battlefield Earth was bad."
No, can't start out. You know, you're bringing that shit up just because of me.
Joey loves the Battlefield Earth.
Fucking love Battlefield
This
Earth.
comes by way of a user AG21 from August 2006. So I wonder if they watched this in reaction to that Nick Cage joint. If a film could actually set out to be one of the most horribly worst films ever made, from technical lighting, writing, and acting, boy oh boy, they'd still never come as close to this cornfield turd. You could actually say that they backed up the truck of pure filth and poured it all over celluloid, thus creating the Wicker Man. Have you ever sat on a wicker chair in the middle of summer for an extended period of time? Know how your skin starts to kind of stick to the wicker a bit, and you finally stand up and you have a massive pain in your ass? Congratulations, you just taken in a viewing of The Wicker Man. Save yourself an hour and a half, and you'll get the same result. Do yourself and future generations a favor and skip this flick. 1 out of 10.
Why doesn't this guy have a podcast? That's like one of the best negative reviews I've heard for
wicker
me.
chair for 90 minutes.
I like the chair burning in. That was cool.
I mean, he brought in like the tactile nature of the wick itself. I like that.
I feel like if you go into this movie and you tell somebody this is a horror movie before they see it, they're going to be disappointed.
I was.
Especially with like your modern horror fans. You tell somebody this is a horror movie, I mean, you're just setting them up for like, where's the horror? Like, while you're watching it, you know?
The most telling point of what you just said was the modern horror fan. The context changes everything. understandably, but it still doesn't erase what this created.
Not putting the cart before the horse, but to this guy's credit, like, one of the producers of the movie did claim this was one of the 10 worst films he had ever seen.
Nice. He got fucking paid.
He had produced the movie. So
Wow.
Well, let's hope he got his money back. All right, moving on the other side of the coin, got a positive review here from October 2022, relatively recent, by way of user xstyle29. This is called The Missionary Position. ...
anything but. They don't let the dudes ride dick, or they don't let the dudes fuck.
They don't let the dudes ride dick in this movie. I'm fucking out.
I was like, whoa, pause.
All right, here we go. A girl has disappeared without a trace, so you head off to investigate the place. It's an island far away. The culture's different, you might say, but you're following faith and full of grace. When you arrive, you find denial all around. There's no knowledge of the girl, nor sight, nor sound. So there's something not quite right. But with your knowledge and insight, you cover your bases, meet lots of faces, but nothing's found. It's not about good versus bad. It's more about what makes you mad when you're confronted by those who wear different clothes. And you find that you've always been had. It's a game that's perpetually played by those who keep us all afraid. That they all know better, that you are their debtor. It's a cascade of a decade's crusade. Interpretation is clearly the key. 8 out of 10.
It sounds like a fucking nursery rhyme. There's some shit to send him off to dreamland.
Just skimming through, I was like, this is one of the most interesting positive reviews I've ever fucking seen for a movie.
The reviews for The Wicker Man seem like a lot of educated reviewers of this film.
Oh, I'm sure there's somebody on there. Man, Nick Cage fucking did this shit better. 1 out of 10, bro.
Did y'all see that Bangkok Dangerous motherfucker just tearing this shit up? It's also definitely one of the first highbrow horror movies that people would say, oh, you just didn't get it.
Well, hopefully next we can do like Joyride or something, and we can just compare the fucking reviewer comments.
Joyride's got to have some good shit.
Joyride to this movie. Damn, dog, he was fast in that, and he was fast in this movie. Paul Walker rules.
Fuck,
For the
yeah.
win, 10 out of 10.
Did he even drive in that movie? I thought Steve Zahn did all the driving.
Ain't no way they had Steve Zahn as the fucking driver.
Driving his
the
ass
comedic
off.
relief.
Yes.
He was probably in the back seat the whole time. I don't remember that movie very well. I know they were in a car.
Yeah, they were in a car, fucking around on the CB.
It's like Jeepers Creepers, right? They're just in a car.
Yeah,
the whole
it's
time?
kind of the same setup. One's supernatural, one's just like a perverted truck driver. Some pink champagne.
I do remember that motherfucker saying,
Candy cane. Yeah, he wanted that.
that's the ASMR I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. That deep Ted Levine fucking Buffalo Bill voice. That's what you like. Good night.
Put it in the basket. Put it in the basket.
Put it in the butt, Joey.
Put it in the fucking basket.
Who you may also recognize from the first Fast and the Furious. It's Toretto, Brian. It's always been Toretto.
Brian, it's always been Torrego.
Let's get into who made this movie. This is a very, very, very British movie, so some of these names might not exactly ring bells for us. But here they are. Director was Robin Hardy, who directed The Wicker Tree, 2011. I got a question mark there. Which apparently is a sequel to this that he wrote
It's
himself.
a spiritual successor. I don't think it's a sequel.
But it does include Christopher Lee.
It does, but he is credited as Old Man. We don't
Old
know if
fucking
he's Lord Summerisle or not. However, I guess it is a direct sequel because Emily, the actress who played Emily, plays Emily in this movie or in The Wicker Tree.
And this was written by Anthony Schaefer, who wrote one of Hitchcock's final films, Hitchcock's Frenzy, from 1972. This is kind of what landed him this gig the following year. So, again, very, very British connections.
I got a note on Mr. Robin Hardy.
What you got?
God, you do?
I
I'm
do.
surprised.
I did not.
Hell.
I checked.
So this was he was a short, chubby little white man. That guy lived to be 97 years old. This dude smoked and drank his ass to 97 years old.
Yes, I was a writer-director. Outside of those small little notes about them, I don't have anything about them personally. You guys got any other people you want to touch on?
Paul Giovanni, Gary Carpenter, their band Magnet, and all the musicians used throughout the film. As we're going to talk about later, there's a lot of music in this movie. But yeah, you guys and gals did a tip-top cheerio job. Seriously though, the music was awesome from beginning to end. Bravo.
I do have a few production notes here. The U.S. re-release was scheduled for November 1978, but was pushed back to January of 79 due to the infamous Jonestown Massacre happening that exact same month. It's bad fucking luck for the marketing department.
That's fucking terrible. That's another Donnie Darko situation.
What do you mean by that?
You know what I'm referring to? They were going to release right around September.
The plane stuff?
2001.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
I didn't put that together.
What a coinky dink.
Well, fuck.
Do you know how many people fucking died at Jonestown?
968?
900 plus. I got like 984 or something. But it's like, it's the biggest, like, American citizen fatality number.
Pre 9/11, right?
It's fucking insane.
It's a bizarre story.
I also hit a little note of here. Due to the very small budget, most of the cast, including Christopher Lee himself, worked without pay.
He actually considers this movie like one of his best performances.
Yeah, I read that as well.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, pretty impressive for
I think he actually bought before they made the movie, he actually bought the rights to the 1967 book Ritual by David Penner that this movie is loosely based on. I think that's what got the ball rolling on the screenplay.
Christopher Lee, you're saying? Like he's a producer
Yeah, I
here?
think he did. It is what I've, through my hours and hours of research.
Meticulous. That damn Dracula money.
I love when they say loosely based. You can say anything is loosely based off anything. Sir Christopher Lee, sir,
Excuse me.
paid for his own press tour out of pocket and hit every stop willing to interview him about this film. According to rumors, some farmers in Iowa were surprised to see him on Live, which was an early morning public access show.
Fucking A. He was on podcast before fucking podcast.
Can you imagine turning on fucking Star News and seeing Leonardo DiCaprio hyping up the next fucking Titanic 2 or some shit?
Oh, shit, he over here in Reedsville?
And my last note here is Rod Stewart launched an attempt to block the release of this film when he learned that his then girlfriend, of many to come, Britt Eklund, appeared naked in the movie.
This is the same motherfucker who sings, "If you want my body and you think I'm
sexy, come on, sugar, let me know.
But he didn't want you to know about his girlfriend.
Exactly. Don't ask his girlfriend that shit.
Man, motherfucker.
Oh, he was banging the shit out of this girl because she was in like 2 or 3 of his music videos.
Banging the shit out of her.
How about that? It was falling out.
Apparently this girl, she could fuck.
God damn.
Evidently. It's pretty evident.
I got a few notes about this girl right here.
There's a documentary about this out there?
No, she married one of the producers, Peter Sellers.
Peter Sellers produced this? The comedian?
Peter Sellers was one of the producers. I don't know if it's comedian or not, but he was like an actor.
Yeah, he's an actor. He's in all the Kubrick shit.
Anyway, he had a fucking heart attack.
Oh.
On their wedding night.
Tearing this shit up.
On the wedding night. No one she riding that thing.
No, she was dancing up on the damn walls, but it was just getting ready.
She was fucking off the top rope, if you know what I'm saying.
Fuck.
Damn. She became a widow on her wedding day.
So he didn't die. He had a fucking heart attack. He lived.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But, had a fucking heart attack, bro. You know she knows what you're doing. I actually got a few more notes on her besides that. All of her singing and most of her dialogue, talking about Britt Eklund's, was dubbed by singer/actress Annie Ross.
I could tell watching this. I was like, why is her audio all fucked up every time she speaks? I thought I had just a shitty copy at first.
Well, apparently she's Swedish, right? And her Scottish accent sucked dick. So they just dubbed her over. There's conflicting reports about that. She says she was entirely dubbed over. But according to some of the guys that worked on the actual movie itself, they say they only dubbed the song when she was singing. That's the only thing. So it's kind of a weird thing. She doesn't realize if she's talking or not. But yeah, the girl who plays Daisy, Leslie Mackey, she's in the scene where they're in the schoolroom, the classroom with all the girls. Mm-hmm. She was supposed to be playing a 12-year-old. She was actually 21 years old.
How about that?
In the scene.
She reminded me of remember in Dodgeball, the one lady that's on the team.
The one with the fucking unibrow.
Yeah. Way too out of place here. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this chick?
Oh shit.
She related to the director or something? That's what I assumed.
She's 5'2", the rest of them in there 3 foot tall. One more thing about Miss Eklund. It was filmed in 1972 in Galloway, Scotland, among other places. She called it the bleakest place on earth. And the producers were forced to apologize to the locals, who were furious after hearing this.
The opposite of Disney World, right? With that said, let's take a journey across the ocean. Get ready for May Day.
You can have all you like if you swear not to waste the landlord's daughter. And when her name is mentioned, the parts of every gentleman do stand up at attention.
Sergeant Neil Howie, played by Edward Woodward, who you may know from Hot Fuzz, of the West Highland Constabulary, receives a photograph and an anonymous letter reporting the disappearance of a 12-year-old girl named Rowan Morrison on nearby Summer Isle. He says his prayers and travels to the private island in his seaplane. On landing, the harbor master insists that Howie seeks permission from Lord Summer Isle.
He is very insistent on getting a boat to come over to him.
Yeah, that was a very comical scene.
What do they call that shit? A dewey? What's it called? A dewey?
A dinghy.
Dinghy. He says it like 8 fucking times. Can you send the dinghy?
I've definitely seen this skit in comedy before. They even use something like this in Nope that I rewatched recently, where they're like across the field and they're just yelling at each other, and the camera just stays with the one group of people, and the other guys are really far away.
The opening scene or the opening shots where it's showing him flying over all the like the landscape and stuff of what is supposedly the Summer Isles, man. At one point they fly over the Isle of Skye in Scotland. Dude, that shit was like gorgeous. It looked so good.
It was a gorgeous opening.
All right, before we go any further, which version of the movie did you guys watch? There's apparently like 6 versions of this fucking movie.
Well, fuck,
Whoa.
I have no idea then.
I know the original movie is destroyed. At least
Yeah,
the
the negatives, like the original negatives, yeah. It was destroyed and they used it to like pave a fucking road or some shit.
Hell yeah.
How much fucking celluloid did they have? What do you mean?
But they have one that's 100-some minutes long, one that's like 94 minutes long, and one that's 88 minutes long.
Mine was pretty short. I remember that.
Yeah, I wanna watch the extended cut, and it's got like more fucking in it. So
Yeah, from what I understand, there was like the direct, quote unquote, director's cut is the like hardest to find. It's, I guess, the one with the most fucking in it. So there you go.
That's the tagline: more fucking.
Apparently, overseas, when they build a road, they use something called landfill material, and they just throw a bunch of random shit
Just fucking trash.
in a hole, and then they put a road on
That's a
top
really
of it.
nice way of saying trash.
Rubbish.
So the road is made out of used condoms and fucking old diapers and
Apparently,
shit.
I don't know.
Like ground up or anything, or it's just laid there?
Well, no, I could see people over there not using diapers, but like cloth that they wash in the fucking tub, the wash tub every day.
Like shitty towels and stuff everywhere.
Oh, fuck, dude.
But that's why it's thrown into like a road. It's just a weird
Oh,
setup.
fuck it. I ain't got to wash it no more. We just throw it out there in the road, bro.
Throw it in the fucking road.
Pay that motherfucker.
Interesting.
I think of the extended version, the Wicker Man has a dick. That's like
Like 10-foot dick made out of trash.
trash dick. Man, you got that. It's a bunch of fucking trash bags all tied together.
Was I the only one that thought that Edward Woodward looked like Daniel Craig?
Draco Malfoy's dad.
Oh yeah, I could see that too.
That I thought that was his actual dad.
Jason Isaacs, is that his name?
The father of the actor who plays that role.
Yeah,
I don't
he's a
think
good
it
actor.
is, but
I think it's Jason
he looks
Isaacs.
just like him.
He's in Armageddon too. Remember? He's the smartest man in the world.
I was waiting for him to say, "Where's Potter?"
You put your
Like in the
firecracker in
fucking
your
movie.
hand. You burn your hand. You wrap your hand around that same firecracker. Your wife's gonna be opening ketchup bottles for the rest of your life.
What the fuck movie was that?
You remember that fucking
Armageddon,
line?
man.
How the fuck do you remember that?
I don't know.
I don't think anybody who listens to the show remembers that line.
Remember fucking Armageddon? I love you, Harry.
Yeah, that's a pretty memorable
I
line.
remember the fucking animal cracker scene. I remember that shit, boy. I had a girl reenact that with me one time. I was the one I was laying down.
Oh,
She had the
shit.
animal crackers.
Did she get the cracker
I said-
after she put it in the
I
waistband?
said, take him to the water. I fucking poked my belly button out and I said, take it to the watering hole, girl.
Take him to the Oasis.
Oh, Man,
She put it in the waistband, and she never saw that cracker again.
I said, take a trip to the hairy dunes, and I fucking ran it up to my man breasts.
It is like the planet Dune down there. It's like, what the fuck is going
Like a
on?
fucking jungle, bro.
And a sandworm?
And here, as he's flying through the beautiful islands of Scotland, we get the Gordon Lightfoot song for the first time in the movie. The song plays like 12 times.
They use the fuck out of this. For like the first 20 minutes, it plays like 3 times. I was kind of confused if my audio track was fucked up watching this.
Also, when it first opens, we get to learn that we're on day 29th of April, 1973. Your boy's birthday's the 30th. Yeah, like right there.
Fucking made. See, look, man, all this stuff I didn't even plan for, and it just lined up perfectly.
That's not the last time we'll talk about birthdays.
Ooh.
Mayday, baby. Yeah, this is definitely emblematic of the season we're in right now, but again, not intentional. The islanders on the shore do not recognize Rowan from Howie's photograph, but direct him to Mae Morrison's post office. There he meets Mae's actual daughter, Myrtle, but when he asks her about Rowan, the girl will only say that Rowan is a hare who plays in the fields.
She is running a post office / candy store.
I was like, isn't it a candy store?
Super fucking, like, British, right? Like, it's so, I felt like such a dumb American watching things like this. Like, is that how things work in the rest of the world? We just take all of our shit for granted here.
That's like having a goddamn shoe store inside of a grocery store.
That's Walmart.
You like have a. Well, you know what? That is
Produce
Walmart.
stinks.
Fucking Walmart.
Fucking Walmart. All of the chocolate rabbits freaked me out. Like, I get it's a candy shop, but the amount of chocolate rabbits was just very disturbing.
You know what freaks me out? Every time I see some shit like that, like, I always wonder, how the fuck do you control this inventory? There's no way you're selling all that shit before it goes bad.
I feel like chocolate has a long shelf life, but I could be wrong.
That's just gonna sit there for years, man. There's like 20 people in this town.
They fucking love chocolate rabbits.
I don't know who the fuck is making this chocolate up in Scotland. Cacao trees don't fucking grow up there. Probably a bunch of shit logs formed to look like rabbits.
I like how these guys like jerk him off too, talking about this picture for 10 fucking minutes, and they're all just. It's literally like a gangbang of just dunking on this fucking guy over and over.
Yeah, this guy is immediately out of place.
At the Green Man Inn, great fucking name. Landlord Alder McGregor, another great fucking name, offers Howie a room and asks his daughter Willow, played by Brett Eklund, who you might know from Good Night with Roger Moore and The Man with the Golden Gun. So she becomes a Bond girl off of this movie. Yeah, so McGregor asks his daughter to look after the policeman. And while the locals sing about basically molesting Willow, Howie examines some Harvest Festival photographs and notes that the previous year's photo is missing. Willow gives him a supper of canned food, and when he asks for one of Summer Isle's famous apples, she tells him they have all been exported.
That broke his fucking heart.
That's the whole fucking point of this island, man.
No points. Find that damn girl. What are you worrying about apples for?
No. Like, this is what they're known for. This is going to, like, fucking Wisconsin and they're out of cheese.
How famous is this damn island?
Yeah, it's famous enough. They got a bunch of crates that say Summer Isle apples.
You see the signage for the Green Man Inn?
Oh,
this is like the second
so
British
cool,
fucking
man.
sign for an inn. That was just badass.
So
dude.
good. All right, let's break this down a little bit. First of all, Willow is fucking hot, scorching hot.
Yeah.
But Alder McGregor, the way he's looking at that Sergeant Howie, he's crushing hard on Constable Sergeant Howie. That is going to be quite a love triangle.
Ooh.
Yeah, the whole bar breaks out in song about how slutty and down to fuck the landlord's daughter is.
Very bizarre.
How
That
hard
shit-
she
that
makes
shit
your
was wild.
dick. All kinds of shit.
And that's just another song you hear in this movie that's like you feel out of place. It feels awkward.
It's uncomfortable because it's a bunch of 60-year-old men.
It's uncomfortable from the perspective of Sergeant Howie, but for them it's normal. Like, even the landlord and his daughter are like down for it. She's over there bumping and grinding on this fat dude, like throwing a fucking ass to his dick.
Yeah, he was like thrusting into her at one point.
It's normal for people to bring out a goddamn fiddle, a drum set, and an accordion.
Yeah, they're hanging out.
It's just trying to go at it, man.
Yeah, they're all hanging out there and fucking...
Hey, y'all want to sing the song about gangbanging Willow Tuesday night? Just bring all your shit.
Spontaneous jam session. That's what you call that. That's why you always have your instrument with you.
Spontaneous is correct. Yeah, spontaneous fiddle playing.
This town is fucking lit, though. I did have that note here.
Oh, this town is
This
dope
town
as
is
fuck,
fucking
bro.
lit. For like 50 people living here, this shit is fucking lit. Like no one's home alone chilling. Everyone's in this fucking bar. Just getting fucking
They
wild.
have a hoedown.
That night, outside his window, Howie sees Lord Summerisle, played by the legendary Mr. Christopher Lee, my personal namesake from Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, The Man with the Golden Gun, the Dracula of the 60s and 70s. And due to my young son, I recently learned he did the audio version of The Nightmare Before Christmas poem, which is fucking banging. Lord Summerisle presents a young boy to Willow for a sexual initiation. Howie tries to pray, but is distracted by the sounds of some noisy fucking next door.
All right, now you watch the extended version.
Oh.
Oh, which
This scene isn't even in the theatrical release, which is what
Oh,
I
really?
watched.
Did you
yeah.
see this scene, Hoodie?
Yeah, this creeped me out. It was very bizarre.
This is a great fucking scene. When he's talking to the slugs and shit.
The song that they play in this sequence right here, the only way I got to even see it was through YouTube.
Oh.
So I watched like some of the clips that they didn't show in the theatrical release. And this song was supposed to be like the big song of the movie, but it was cut from the theatrical release, which is wild.
Because of the fucking?
I don't know. I don't
They
know
don't
why it
even
was
show
cut.
penetration or any, like, it's just insinuative.
There's some animal noises happening.
He's just praying his ass off, and she's just over there fucking making this boy into a man.
Here we go.
And
Probably give him a heart attack.
I also question this now. The version that I watched, there's a weirdly placed scene where he walks through a park during an orgy.
I think me and you may have seen the same thing.
Yeah, that was as he was leaving the bar, right? Like he just walks out into town, and there's like 5 people laying on the
He just
ground
goes
fucking.
outside, I think, to get the fuck out of there.
To
Because
walk into an orgy.
It's established at this point this guy is like super Christian, super conservative, not really down for all this shit.
Surrounded by fucking.
He's literally in
Not really
there,
down for all this shit.
easily in there listening
Joey,
to
there
his
was 20 men singing about gangbanging this teenage girl.
Yeah, this whole situation right here. So he went outside to get a breath of fresh air. While he's out there, that's when he sees the massive raw dog orgy
Goddamn
taking
eyeful.
place out in the goddamn lawn.
It was classy. It was all missionary, or no? It was all
No, that's the
cowgirl.
thing. It's all girl on top.
It's all cowgirl,
Smacking
baby.
his
Hey,
hands,
don't let the
high-fiving
men
and
fuck
shit.
in this movie. The men get fucked in this entire
That's
movie.
like the most American way to do it, man.
That's my favorite way. I can just go to
It's
sleep.
a damn Christian way.
I just fucking put my hands up,
The
throw
way
my,
God
my
intended.
feet out, good to go.
Put my feet
Put your
out.
feet out.
Yeah. I just fucking spread them. I got
Out of
spread
what?
eagle. Like I'm making a snow angel. I call it the snow angel.
You just move the whole time. You're gonna love this, baby.
Yeah, I get my workout in. You getting your workout in? Let's
I
go.
ain't gotta touch nothing.
I'm gonna lay right here. You gonna love this shit.
But yes, this was Christopher Lee. He was kind of hidden at first, but as soon as you hear that voice, it's one of a fucking kind. This guy's definitely icon, horror icon, especially from the 60s and 70s, kind of before my time. I really haven't seen his Dracula work, but it's definitely when I was a kid, this is what my mom always told me about. He was Dracula, yada, yada, yada.
Dude,
so.
he was Dracula in like 50 fucking movies.
A ton of every movie in the 60s and 70s was.
He is.
Imagine
Dracula.
a cow's udder just totally flat and fucking just milking dust out of it. This is the movie that kind of turned his career around because he was typecast up until this point as Dracula.
He's got the perfect like Dracula hairline, though. You know.
He didn't get any lines either as Dracula. I think he anytime he spoke, it was very sparingly.
He's just hissing at the camera and shit.
And we thought that Hugh Jackman playing the Wolverine was getting old.
The next morning, Howie visits the island school. The children claim not to know Rowan, but Howie finds her name in the register and accuses them of being dirty little liars. Taking him outside, the teacher explains that Rowan's soul has returned to nature and that the children only learn of Christianity as a comparative religion, something that Howie cannot fucking deal with.
She literally tells this class of 12-year-olds that are being played by 21-year-olds that the oak tree is a phallic symbol. And then she just says, it's a symbol of a penis.
Well, see, all right, that seems awkward, right?
Yeah, real
Now,
awkward.
in my opinion, girls mature faster than boys, right? And I guess it's commonplace for parents to have the talk with kids, right?
Sure, on their own terms.
Like when they start puberty, right? So I think 12 years old, and you're in this fucking pagan culture where everything you worship, you don't worship like God. It's nothing like Christianity. You worship like the spirits nature, like the gods who control the trees, like the harvest, fertility, all this other shit. To us, it seems weird, but I think it's like commonplace for like pagans and shit.
Fertility, like you said, is a big thing for them. It's like the most fundamental aspect of their religion is being fruitful and fucking.
Oh yeah, it's super weird to like tell little kids about dicks and stuff.
Phallic symbols. Everything's a phallic symbol.
Using phallic symbol is a nice way of putting it.
But they do this at the same time when the backdrop is the boys on the Mayday pole, the big dick that all the boys are playing. They're like rapping it up.
The song they're singing is so catchy, man.
They're learning how to wrap that dick up.
Have you guys ever watched the Denver airport guy on YouTube who breaks down how the Denver airport is one big, large phallic symbol and how like the baggage claim looks like a penis and this other part looks like a penis?
What's he got, like 2 videos?
No,
the only thing he talks about.
He goes deep on the Denver airport specifically about how it's
a fucking series
full of phallic symbols.
When Mr. Neil Howie, investigates the attendance book, we come to discover that Rowan and I share the same birthday, November 13th. Scorpios, baby.
Over by a ruined church, Howie finds what is apparently Rowan's grave, marked with her umbilical cord. From the island's doctor, Howie learns that Rowan was burnt to death, but can find no entry of her at the records office.
Ain't no fucking way you gonna overlook Beach Buchanan's fucking grave.
Beach Buchanan?
Ain't no way.
Who?
He literally reads the inscription. Here lieth Beach Buchanan, protected by the ejaculation of serpents. Did anybody do a deep dive on this?
I did see the headstone. I was like, oh, that's fucking cool, but I didn't want to see what the ejaculation of serpents was exactly.
That's exactly what I want on my tombstone. Protected by the ejaculation of serpents.
You want that to be what's on the tombstone, or you want to actually have the ejaculant of the serpent?
Look it right now. Get somebody to go ahead and make it.
How do you jack off a serpent?
He knows.
Oh, well,
he knows.
Hey, you milk the fangs, I'll milk the other end. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
But I looked into it, and there's not like a specific thing, but there is a couple of schools of thought. A simple description: druids, which are like the priests of like Celts and pagans, were said to carry magic amulets, which protected them from harm. The amulets supposedly were made from the ejaculation of serpents, solidified, which the druids had to steal from said serpents in a, I guess it goes without saying, a difficult fashion.
They sucked him off. They sucked him off.
So I guess it means the person is buried with the amulet, or ejaculation as a religious meaning, like ejaculatory prayer. It's pretty much saying Beach Buchanan is protected by frequent prayers.
I ain't done that in a while.
Ejaculating prayers.
Like serpents have always been like a metaphor for like druids.
So you're saying that their ejaculate solidifies? Does all semen? Does this?
Well, I mean, it starts out as
Think about all those socks and all those very crisp washcloths you find
you can make a
teenage boy's dirty clothes.
You can make a fucking sword out of how hard them socks get.
You know, typically, boys, I would say this is where the podcast went off the rails, but this is a true history moment right now.
This is interesting.
This is a very
how do you shape all that ejaculate into an amulet?
So many questions.
I guess you come into like a fucking Solo cup, and then you cut the bottom of the Solo cup out.
Red Solo cup, man. I fill you up.
This pagan culture is interesting times, man.
Howie visits Lord Summerall, who grants him permission to exhume Rowan's body. When the policeman expresses disgust at a fertility ritual being performed on the grounds, Summerall explains that his grandfather bought the island for its soil and climate in order to grow new strands of fruit. To motivate the islanders, he reintroduced them to the old gods of nature and fertility, and soon the island's apple harvest made it prosperous. This was like a big exposition dump here. I did like the all the naked ladies jumping over the fire, though.
Oh. You are not Christian.
Dude, Howie's over here on his fucking Christian crusade high horse. I'm surprised he didn't behead Lord Summerall like it was 1190s.
Those are naked women out there, sir.
You know what kind of sucked? They actually weren't naked. They was wearing like body tight fucking suits.
I did like just him walking around the estate with Christopher Lord Summerall. He just seemed like a fucking guy that would be fun to talk to for 3 hours.
Can we go back to when he goes to the? Have we talked about when he goes to the chemist?
Oh, we're talking about foreskins?
Who's also the photographer? Has that happened yet?
Yeah, he's already visited the doctor to talk about her body, and he's talked to the records office and all that shit.
So we've had the scene where that girl shoves a frog in that girl's mouth.
Yeah, she's trying to cure of sore throat right now.
They sucking on frogs for a sore throat. These motherfuckers ain't never heard of Ricola.
Ricola.
Pfizer better not get a hold of this. Y'all gonna be sucking frogs for your next booster shot.
There is a shot in that drugstore of a fucking 5-quart glass jar of foreskins.
Oh well, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Freaked
there
me
was all
out.
kinds of shit in
Look,
jars, man.
here's the thing: the jar of foreskins, that's got the sweet and the crunch.
It definitely got
If
something.
you know what I'm saying.
Be careful what you eat when you go to fucking Summer Island, all I can say.
Dude, imagine like rock candies made out of cum.
I guess pagans believe in circumcision. So there we go. Some more history lessons there.
I think they just believe in preserving every fucking thing.
I think they just want foreskins. I don't even think they believe in anything. It's like, all right, damn, foreskin's tasty as fuck.
The grandfather of Lord Summerall bought the island and created this crazy hybrid fruit that apparently made it fucking world famous. And this hybrid fruit, at the same time, ruined the soil on the island.
Yeah, going back to the point about how like defensive he is about the religious stuff, it's kind of weird to look at this in the modern context because this dude is really like anti anybody else believing anything at all. He just fucking cannot believe that these kids are not worshiping Jesus Christ.
Well, here's the thing. With the version of the movie you watched, it literally opens up with him receiving the letter, right? And like it's established that he's a diehard Christian. He goes to church.
He's
and all
praying, I think, in the very first scene I saw.
He's
In
at a
the
mass
first
at the
scene
church.
of the version I watched, he's literally in the plane already and he's flying. This shit ain't even been established.
Oh.
Oh, interesting.
The only time you see that he's like a religious zealot, pretty much, is that he has a flashback and he's praying and all this other shit, and he starts talking about Jesus and God and all this other stuff.
Yeah, it was very, very heavy in the version I saw. There was a lot of showing you how religious this guy was.
But yeah, his whole thing, I guess he's surrounded by people who don't share his beliefs, and it kind of makes you defensive, right? Not to get too religious theology shit on you, but it's the job. If you're really a diehard Christian, it's like you are required to try and convert people to your religion. That's part of being a Christian. So I could see him being forceful about it because that's how he was raised to practice Christianity.
You must be a crusader.
If you can't convert him, you got to fucking put him in the ground.
Decapitation!
Howie returns to the graveyard and opens Rowan's grave, but finds only the body of a hare. He accuses Summerall and the islanders of murder, threatening to return the next day with more police from the mainland. Howie breaks into the chemist's and discovers the previous year's Harvest Festival photograph, which depicts Rowan Morrison and Summerall's failed crop. He speculates that she may not be dead and will be sacrificed at the May Day celebrations the next day. That night, Willow sings to Howie through his bedroom wall, and Howie presses up against it, tormented. He's fumbling around that room with the hardest fucking dick ever put to film. I wanted to come watching this poor guy.
A lot of fucking shit to unpack right here. Why the fuck is Rowan cheesing so goddamn hard in that Harvest picture?
Well,
We see like 7, 8 other pictures, and they're surrounded by like fruit. They're surrounded by radishes, all sorts of shit. In her picture, she is smiling so hard she's about to crack a goddamn jaw open. She's got an empty crate of apples in front of her and 2 cabbages. That was the harvest. And she is smiling like hell. What do you so fucking
The sergeant goes, the crops, they failed.
So how sexy was Willow
that dance, man.
in this dance?
I was like, this was a weird part for me because I think however I was watching it, my audio kind of got out of sync right here. So this shit was really tripping with me. I ended up watching this scene like 3 times because I was rewinding it, trying to get my audio.
That's why you had to watch it.
Yeah,
times.
sure you
That's
did,
And
brother.
I was just like,
You waited,
fuck,
yeah.
dude. I was like, this dude is about
And you
to
watched
fucking
it one more
bust.
time when everybody went to bed, didn't you?
This dude was about to fucking bust.
Naughty
dog.
boy.
Yeah, it was sexy, dude. Took 13 hours to film that.
I read
Just
that
dancing
too.
against the wall, butt ass naked.
13
So apparently,
hours.
the actress Britt was cool with stomach up, and that was her. But when you saw her ass and backside, that was a whole other woman. And maybe that's why it took so long, because they had to keep swapping people in and out.
Just keep dancing.
That was a big deal to her. She got super pissed off about
That
that.
she had an ass double.
That you had somebody come in and did a double regardless. And I think her big deal was, I guess back then having a fat ass wasn't a good thing.
Oh god.
Well, it aged well.
And this
Again,
this,
times have fucking changed.
this body double had the fat ass, and apparently she had a flat ass, and the flat ass was the thing that was desired back then. So everybody thinking she had the fat ass upset her.
So this is what Rod was mad about, this scene particularly?
I think so.
Yeah, showing him nice ass titties.
She says during her naked banging wall scene, she
God
will
almighty,
stroke him
bro.
as gently as a feather.
Fuck.
She says
What?
that in her song.
I don't need to be edged. I need to
she's
come.
Nah,
Stroke
dude,
him
she gonna make
gently.
it last. This is 11
If
hours of
he-
dancing, dog. It's gonna last.
If he ran into a wall socket, this was gonna be a short ass movie.
That's what I'm telling you,
Because
dude.
he was about to get fucking electrocuted with that hard ass
He's
dick.
sweating.
He was
too.
leaning against the wall too, man. You know, he just fucking.
No,
just
when he's
poking
got
the
all
wall.
that foreskin, that shit would have got caught
He's
up in
sweating
it.
his ass off too. It was very bizarre.
I think he admits to being a virgin in this bit too, right? He tells her pretty much like, I didn't fuck you because I've never done that.
Oh, that shit drove me nuts.
Yeah, he's saving himself for marriage. He's actually
You
engaged.
see, and it's tough because like watching this
talked about
movie
it.
in like 23, it never crosses my mind this dude's a fucking virgin, you know?
He's sitting here 46 years old, about to retire from the
Exactly.
force.
I didn't expect 1973's Wicker Man to quite possibly be the most nudity we've seen in a horror movie so far.
It's very casual.
It's
nudity,
pretty
though.
close.
It's like tasteful almost, you know?
It is very tasteful.
It's not like covered in blood or any of the shit that
mean,
we've come to see.
The
in
line
this
was
stuff.
literally stroke him like a feather. So
The sexual revolution is like taking place right around this time in cinema too, right?
Yeah, the 70s is like when all the independent stuff blows up, all the French New Wave coming through. Scorsese
I feel like
and everybody.
I feel like this movie they wanted to be like a flag bearer for that, and it's almost like the citizens of the Summer Isles. They symbolize the sexual revolution, and Sergeant Howie represents the old way. It represents like the conservative
Singing hymns and all that
conservative
good shit.
past.
Definitely has a unique tone. For all the shortcomings in the movie, people talk about maybe being boring or not a lot going on. It has a unique tone.
So this scene, Willow was naked and smacking her ass and banging the wall, and the sergeant's sweating. and
God damn, boy. she
also,
was
like
fucking-
leaning against the wall. The next day comes, Willow walks in and casually goes, "I asked you for sex last night, and you never came over."
I was just waiting on some of that hard fucking sweet mainland dick.
That's how she casually asked for sex.
Motherfucker said he wanted some apples, didn't he? I had some waiting for his ass.
Here's the good thing. You know she ain't got VD.
I don't know,
she
bro.
ain't
I
got
think
fucking
everybody
VD.
in town has
they
been
just,
through this.
They just fuck everybody on the island, man. They don't fuck people outside the island. So you can raw dog that. Ain't got to worry about nothing.
I'm gonna let you go first.
I
and
gotta
we'll
see the good doctor before all that.
Oh, shit. I'll go first and last, brother.
Hootie's not convinced.
Where's that foreskin doctor at? I gotta ask some questions.
Stretch this out and tell me what you think, Doc. The next day, Howie finds his seaplane will not start and is told he cannot return to the mainland for over a week. He researches fertility rituals at the library as the islanders prepare their costumes for their May Day celebration. Howie conducts a door-to-door search for Rowan, eventually returning to the Green Man to rest. After an attempt to drug his ass, Howie attacks McGregor and steals his punch costume.
The weakest fucking candlestick hit in the history of candlesticks.
It's like he barely hit him in the upper back and he's knocked out.
It's almost like he conveniently got knocked out. Conveniently.
Oh, you're saying this is a sexual ploy for him to like take advantage of him?
Well, no, almost like McGregor was throwing.
Before he does the horrible knockout scene, he does like a random house searches, correct?
Oh yeah, he's literally going around busting down
That
everybody's
was a weird
door.
He
montage.
finds naked women. He finds like children's toys having sex.
Damn.
Oh,
Why'd you remind me about that?
oh
He
my
has human-sized
Damn.
loaves of bread. There's literally like a 6-foot man bread thing,
That's right.
I just howied all over the bottom of my computer.
and then empty coffins. It was like random fucking door openings and just weird shit would populate.
Wait, you say empty coffins? There's actually one that isn't empty and it's missing a hand.
Oh yes.
The magic hand candle that's gonna drug your ass. So apparently, I read there was like a sequence there when he actually goes under due to that drug and has like a dream sequence. That did not have that in my version of the film though. Like as soon as they put it down, he knocks the shit off pretty much instantly for me.
He fucking, whoa, shit, brother.
I don't think so. As the procession begins, Summerall teases McGregor, who is really the disguised Howie, for his shitty dancing. There is a mock execution by a swordsman of an islander, curiously dressed as a hare. Eventually, the procession arrives at the shore, and Summerall offers a sacrifice of ale to the gods of the sea. Howie spots Rowan dressed in white and makes to grab her.
This whole time, or this whole procession you're talking about, everybody keep in mind, Christopher Lee is dressed in drag this entire sequence. Like, knowing that these are, like, actual pagan rituals and stuff to, like, celebrate May Day, I don't know if it's, like, 100% this is what they do, but it makes me so interested in going about and checking out and just reading into this stuff. There's a book they based a lot of this research on called The Golden Bough. I got that on my eBay watch list whenever that shit pops up on the cheap.
Oh, shit.
Light summer reading.
I'm going to start doing pagan stuff. I'm going to be out here licking trees and shit.
I really liked the chop, chop, chop scene. That shit was
Chop,
fucking tense,
chop.
man. When they pulled the fucking swords out, put them in the
When
pentagram,
they had
that was fucking
the
sick.
pentangle. Yeah, that was fucking
I was
dope.
like, this is badass right here. This is the imagery I came here for.
This is some real Chris Angel shit though, because somebody gets their head chopped off, but not really.
The fucking mind
she
freak.
fucking mind freaked
got
that
his
ass.
ass.
Popped right back up. It's Holly. She's like, yeah, dog, get with me getting chopped up. Mind freak. She started fucking levitating. Mind freak.
I like how Chris is like, yeah, let's go do the real fucking execution now. Just casually. Then we're done playing around and shit. And what about the guy with the, I called him the Dino Dick costume. What the fuck was he wearing?
That was a damn horse.
It looked like a dinosaur, like coming out where his dick
Did
would
you
be.
not listen to the? See, I was way more into like the
The
research
Dino
part of it.
Dick costume
They-
question
they're-
mark.
They had the three characters that are always like at the head of the procession. You got the one that cross dresses like a man and woman. You got this horse thing that this
It looked
guy
like
wears.
a
and I
dinosaur
think
head dick.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to say like the horse is gonna fuck the chicks. Like if they catch
Yeah, he's
you.
like thrusting the whole
They
time, like
fuck
his like little brown dick is poking out.
Yeah, and then the fool,
Punch.
the fool, which was supposed to be McGregor,
McGregor.
but Howie as the costume you got. King for a day.
They escape into a cave, Howie and Rowan, emerging on a cliff top, only to be greeted by Summerall and the Islanders. Howie realizes he has been tricked. Summerall explains that he, not Rowan, is the perfect sacrifice, having come of his own free will with the power of the king, a virgin and a fool. I really dig this fucking twist, man.
And he also, one of the requirements is to have a full bush. He had a full bush as well.
He hadn't trimmed the pubes since fucking 1944, whenever he was born.
I liked how Rowan ran up to him and like so innocently was like, "I did my job well."
Did I do a
Your
good
well."
job? You played it perfectly, Rowan.
One of the requirements for being the perfect, this is the perfect sacrifice is what
A big
we
stupid
discovered
virgin
this
is
one
what the
time.
fuck he was.
You gotta be a fucking virgin.
Yeah, that
So-
shit rocked me, man.
If he had fucked Willow that night,
He wouldn't have died.
he probably would have been alive. He probably been accepted as a member and been like, hey, you can fuck her every night if you just want to follow the old
You can
gods.
just chill here. You gotta take your turn, but you can do it anytime you want.
You know, you engaged, but fuck that bitch.
Who did the research to find this virgin police officer?
I think they just like kind of lucked out.
That, in my opinion, that's like a plot hole.
I mean, it's a plot hole, but they got someone from. Maybe it's just like icing on the cake, you know. Maybe it's not necessarily part of the ritual.
In this movie, they underdo it, right?
It's very subtle, yeah.
They don't really explain how they pick him in general. In the fucking remake, They over-explain it.
Oh, do they
Holy
like
shit.
researching?
That's a big part of the movie is the fact that why he was chosen or how he was chosen.
They follow him on Facebook and shit.
Well,
This guy's a fucking
I'm
virgin.
not gonna ruin 2006's Nicolas Cage's fucking
Nicolas
Wicker Man.
Cage's.
Nicolas Cage's.
Tuesday, 8 p.m. I love being a virgin.
This is the fucking guy right here. I think because they sent obviously at this point we know that they specifically sent this letter to this guy, knowing that he's a cop.
Had to be him.
He's from the mainland. Maybe they know he's religious and they're going to assume because I guess he's Catholic, right? That he's very devout and probably a virgin. So maybe they've done this once or twice before, and this is the first guy that's kind of checked all the boxes.
And he, tries to run away, and one dude grabs him, and he doesn't really put up much of a fight. He just accepts it.
That fucking beefy dude was like, "No, dog, you ain't getting away from me."
Well, here's the thing. At this point, he hasn't had any fucking sleep. He got woke up because he didn't want the monkey's paw to put him to sleep for 2 weeks or whatever the fuck it was. Doesn't have any sleep. Doesn't have really any strength to fight back. The guy that picked him up was like a big fat lumberjack.
Yeah, classic, like fat guy strong.
I think at that point, he didn't know the extent of what was about to happen to him.
I really dig the twist, though. I really didn't see it coming.
Oh, yeah, out of nowhere.
Howie makes appeals to the islanders, insisting that his death will not save their crops. But he is stripped, anointed, and placed screaming inside a fucking huge, hollow Wicker Man atop the cliffs. As he prays, the pyre is lit, and the islanders begin to sing.
Did you see how hard his nipples were when they were fucking anointing him with that, mustard?
I did not notice his fucking nipples. I did notice the mustard on his forehead, though.
His nipples were rock fucking hard when they're sitting there, tugging on him and shit.
Nothing wrong with that.
I guess that's natural. I mean, you really can't help that. But the image of Lord Summerisle with Howie inside the Wicker Man in the background.
Yeah, that fucking poster.
That's a fucking movie poster I want. It's so iconic, so badass. It's so cool.
I've seen it so many times and never knew that was Christopher Lee. I always assumed he was a different character in the movie.
Well, you know what's crazy about this part? I guess it's because they're at the coast and the wind's whipping up or something.
His fucking hair, yeah.
When we first meet him, his hair is nice, well kept. It's like a fucking big ass bowl. In this scene, he looks like the dude from Rick and Morty. He's not unhinged, but I think at this point, when the audience realizes what's about to happen, it's like, all right, these people are crazy. The perfect sacrifice.
What I was saddened by, obviously he burns up in the Wicker Man, and they're singing along, holding hands. We never find out if it actually worked. How were the crops?
Well, have you ever seen the fucking wicker tree around here?
This is true.
Oh, yeah. Get ready, bro. Dude, you mentioned them singing around it. Dude, a few things are more horrifying than, you're slowly encroaching demise. Fire licking at your bare feet as you're surrounded by joyous singing and laughter.
The shot from inside the Wicker Man, his POV, it's like a fucking fire coming up in your face, and there's just a bunch of people standing around fucking kumbaya. It's like, holy shit.
Oh, this
surreal,
whole
man.
sequence is it's some of the best shit I've seen in horror, in general. Just him inside the Wicker Man praying and shit, and then
That was great acting here for sure.
oh, it was so good. Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed all the animals inside the Wicker Man as well. They had a bunch of live animals. There was a goat right above him in this scene, and apparently the goat was scared. The goat fucking pissed all over him.
Method acting.
Yeah, his reaction, I know it might have been exaggerated because he wasn't going to die, but when he first saw the Wicker Man, that was a genuine reaction. He purposely stayed away from
Oh, he had never
where they were
seen the
putting it
structure
together.
itself.
Yeah, he had never. It's the first time he had seen it.
That thing is fucking impressive, man.
It was still there. The stumps that were left over, the legs and shit, was there for the longest time, but it got stolen.
Yeah, I had a
2006
note
or some
about
shit.
that. It was constructed and burned at Burrowhead, Scotland. The stumps remained at the location for 3 decades. Became a landmark for movie fans. People were outraged when they were cut down and stolen in late 2006 by someone in a fucking four-wheeler.
Nice.
I must have saw the Nick Cage one let's steal this shit.
What if the movie ended, he had sacrificed, he burns to death, and they pray to the sun god, and the last shot of the film is just an apple just turning, a tree blossoming.
Just sour. It just instantly started fucking growing.
It's an apple, and then a fucking little dick comes out of it. The foreskin's on it.
4 little dicks come out of it.
That'd have been a happy ending,
Like,
you know?
like a little, you know how worms come out of apples, but it's like a little dick.
It had like snake sperm on it or snake ejaculate on it.
You talked about how you didn't really like the ending, like where it was open ended. I thought it was awesome. I like that.
I like the part kind of where like during the whole, like where they're like telling him what's gonna happen to him. He's like, "Well, all right, motherfuckers, if this doesn't work, you gotta kill that motherfucker next year." And Christopher Lee was like, "Oh shit." He's like, "Oh fuck, I hope nobody's really listening to this guy right now."
You know, they actually wrote a sequel, like a direct sequel to this, like way before. I think it was in the 80s.
Oh, like it picks up immediately after the Wicker Man burns.
Yeah, immediately after. Like, a bunch of policemen show up and they save the sergeant.
Oh,
and then they have to
God.
fight some fucking, like, dragon or some shit.
Good
It's
Lord.
like super, like, sci-fi fantasy shit.
It sounds fucking terrible.
They actually made it into, like, an audio series. Like, some fans.
Oh, like reading of the script, pretty much.
I would imagine that the airplane is tracked, or if the police department's going to wonder where this dude went.
Oh, he would definitely tell his wife or his fiance.
Going back to kind of where the conversation started, we're talking about, is this a horror film? That's a big question you get around movies like this. I feel like this last 10 minutes for me kind of validates that. 'Cause it's fucking horrible. You have to imagine being this guy and going through this. I mean, how many things are fucking worse than being burnt alive in front of...
So was Braveheart a horror movie? Because his...
No, because the torture lasts like 2 hours in that movie. It's too heroic, man. It's more heroic. This guy has no fucking chance. There's a chance William Wallace could survive.
Ironically, both in Scotland.
All right, kiddos. I think that's going to wrap her up. A piece of memorabilia you guys want to take home from The Wicker Man from 1973.
The Summer Isles flag that we see for like a split second early in the movie.
I don't recall the flag. What's on it?
It's like a stoic red sun with like a face on it on a white background. It gives Japan a run for its money as like the coolest looking flag. So I'd fucking love to have that. Also, obviously the jar of foreskins.
Obviously.
No one else is going to have a fucking jar of foreskins. I'll have the one of one.
You got to come to my house to see this.
Signed posthumously by Christopher Lee, obviously.
Well, me and Hootie Bat say it's going to be a boring one. We all want the foreskins.
If there's a lot of foreskins, we can probably split them.
Not as cool, obviously, as the ones Joey's picked, but the stag mask worn by the cult members during the May 1st ceremony. Just walking around the house butt-ass naked with that big-ass stag mask on.
I said I want the Wicker Man, obviously, but I'm going to settle for a mask because that's kind of cheating. I want the bullhead from the butcher. That thing looked pretty fucking dope. All right, boys, get out the grade books. It's let a great time. How do you feel Mr. Robin Hardy did with his 1973 work, The Wicker Man?
I didn't think I'd enjoyed this one as much as I enjoyed our last movie, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, based on that trailer. But not only did I enjoy it, I fucking loved it. This is in no way a traditional horror movie in terms of blood and guts and jump scares and in-your-face terror. Hell, I wouldn't even call it this a pure horror movie, period. In fact, I don't think there are many people that would. It's some strange, ahead-of-its-time amalgamation that results in a folk horror musical mystery with an ending I won't soon forget. There's just a general unease, a tension you feel watching the movie, knowing something is off, knowing something isn't quite right. It keeps you in suspense, it keeps you enthralled. Watching 1973's The Wicker Man, it's like you're looking at your world, your reality in a funhouse mirror. Familiar, yet distorted and twisted from what you're accustomed to seeing stare back at you. And it doesn't end there. The Scottish folk music throughout is bizarre, awesomely so. Yet it's so on the nose for the movie. Like, it just fits perfectly, and I feel like it's a big reason for its cult status. Sir Christopher Lee does what he do, knocking it out of the park with his performance, and not to be outdone, Edward Woodward is stellar as cantankerous Sergeant Howie. It's no wonder this movie has gone on to inspire quite a few filmmakers with their work, with some of my favorite films, Midsommar and Hot Fuzz, being among them. For those interested in checking it out, be warned, it's a slow burn, almost literally, but it's well worth it. 1973's The Wicker Man gets a big gold star and a miniature Hershey's bar to go along with its A grade.
1973's The Wicker Man was a blind spot for me. Sadly, the remake was not. I even watched that version in theaters way back in the day, sadly. Yeah, it's tough. I was a big Cage guy for a while. Till I wouldn't.
I can't wait for the newest Nick Cage movie, dude. Wicker Man.
I walked into this film expecting it to be as campy as the remake. However, I was quite surprised to learn how well made the original actually was. From the acting to the storytelling, the film moves with grace and precision, which holds your attention throughout the film. However, my issue lies with the fact that this is even considered a classic horror film to begin with. I understand that the sergeant dies in a brutal way, but that doesn't make it a horror film to me. Due to that, I give this film a C+.
All right, so I chose this film essentially. I'm a bit of a film geek outside of the horror community in general, so I wanted to kind of cover something that's considered one of the great films, period, let alone horror. So this is one of those seminal horror movies, and it's, to everyone's counterpoint about the pacing, it's kind of tough to read this with 2023 eyes, particularly for me because Midsommar may have just been too impactful for me. That's a movie I was kind of just blown away with. Ari Aster's 2017, I believe. Director's cut, I think it was like 3 hours long, but could not get enough of that movie.
Jesus Christ.
It was fantastic. But this here, I mean, this is a lesson in atmosphere and dread, and it's a trailblazing use of what you may not even realize, what they call daytime horror. This is not something you usually see used in horror movies. Essentially, it makes what seems obvious and normal abnormal by showing it to you during the daytime. It kind of just sets everything off kilter and kind of gives you the same feelings that Sergeant Howie has. Getting to see Primo Chris Lee was big for me. I definitely want more of that. He's an icon, someone I've mostly only seen in his old age, so I feel like we should probably look into digging into some of his backlog just to get some young, sexy Chris Lee in our veins. Criticisms of it being slow and uneventful are warranted, but as always, I do tend to lean towards these slow burns. The ending, it fucking slaps, and the endearing image of the Wicker Man is powerful. All in all, a tad overshadowed for me by Midsommar, but a B+, no less, for Mr. Hardy. All right, boys, let's put a bow around Lord Summerisle and the rest of the inhabitants of the lovely island of the delicious fruits we'll never get to taste. Let's recap the audience scores here from Rotten Tomatoes for this Wicker Man 1973 flick. I was not allowed to guess. Hootie said a 58 on this bad boy. Joey said a 70.
I know I fucked it up.
Look at these fucking
Ain't no
fools.
fucking way it's that low.
Audience scores at a solid 82 for the Wicker Man from 1973. Wah, wah, wah.
Sounds about right. See, I was doing the Wicker Man for 2006.
As was I.
Based off of Hootie's enthusiasm for it.
Yeah, so the first time in a long time we are going
Dude,
to
it's been
get...
a long time since we spun that motherfucker.
Long time since I've heard Joey go, the wheel has been spun.
I don't even remember how I did. The wheel's been spun.
The serpents have come. That's the new tag.
All right, available for sale on our website. I'll have barbecue foreskin. I'll have salt and vinegar foreskin, sour cream and onion foreskin, and for a limited time only, pumpkin spice foreskin.
Hey, yo.
The wheel has been spun.
And it looks like we will be doing The Conjuring.
Yeah, I'd love a paranormal.
If you guys want to play along, we're going to hop on YouTube and check out the official trailer for The Conjuring from 2015, I think.
Who did the soundtrack for this, Creed?
I wish. Let's go.
Da-da-da, 18, we're headed down into the cellar where the door's just opened on its own. Give us a sign that you want to communicate with us.
Patrick. Oh, Vera Farmiga is so fucking sexy.
I don't get it. People do
What?
enjoy her. Sorry, man.
What, the woman?
It happens.
The fuck?
She is fine.
What
He
are
likes
you
Patrick
guys?
Wilson.
Well, we've been called ghost hunters, paranormal researchers.
But we prefer to be known simply as Ed and Lorraine Warren.
I get such
Lawrence. This is a whole fucking can of beans with these guys, right?
Can of fucking beans.
snake oil salesman to the fucking max.
There's someone here that would like to talk to you.
Was that James Wan?
That's the chick.
There's something horrible happening in my house.
Oh, yeah, this is the fucking guy from Office Space. I forget about that.
haunted house movies are always the same
November 1st,
fucking shit
1971,
every single
No,
time.
motherfucker, this is real.
With her family has been
Get the fuck out of here.
They don't all have Vera
Picking up
Farmiga in there
anything
looking
in
sexy
here,
as hell, so stop.
Something awful.
There's that tree.
Here, Ed.
What is it?
Nasty ass
Whatever
feet.
Lorraine
Put some shoes
sees,
on, bitch.
feels, touches, takes a toll on her. Little piece each time.
The best thing about this movie is that
You
guy's
have a
sideburn.
lot of spirits in here. But there's
Best thing
one
is
that
it's
I'm
fucking
most
true,
worried about
Joy. It
because
happened.
it
I don't,
is so
I don't mean to be
hateful.
rude, sir, but you got a lot of nooses in your attic.
Look what she made me do.
Where's the- Hey,
That's not gonna
I fucking hate these goddamn horror movies, man. I can't fucking stand them. I did not remember how much I fucking hated this movie.
It's not up
Until I
in
just
possession,
watched it.
motherfucker. It's the truth.
can't lose you.
There's a lady in a dirty nightgown that I see in my dreams. She's standing in front of my mom's
shit in
bed.
the wardrobe hanging
Oh,
out.
fuck that.
This is the thing. This is like considered, if not the best, one of the best
Yeah.
movies of this type.
Ghost
right?
movies, definitely, yeah.
So fucking retarded.
How many chills did you get watching that?
Joy
fucking
is
film?
so upset
Oh
right
my
now.
god. I forgot how much I didn't like the movie.
Jump scare, jump scare, jump
It
scare,
ain't
jump
really
scare.
the movie's good, more than likely. It's just I can't get over this fucking style of horror. I can't.
This is probably like the oldest story in horror, though, right? The haunted house.
Can't wait to watch 13 Ghosts. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
This is where like all of this was born from, though. We have to acknowledge that, right?
From 13 Ghosts?
Ghost stories. I mean, that's the first horror stories ever told.
No, we didn't watch that shit growing up.
No,
we
no,
watched,
no,
like,
no, no.
Jason and Freddy. And
I mean,
all those
horror in
guys.
general. Genesis of all this is ghost stories, right? Isn't that where everything started? Hundreds of years ago, wasn't that the first horror stories, ghost stories?
In terms of horror movies, I think those are probably like financially the most successful horror movies. Like every time one of those comes out in the theaters, it's always a big fucking deal. And I can see these type of movies doing well just because of all the jump scares and all the shit you expect to happen, and then every once in a while it doesn't happen.
All right, boys, there it is. Let's take a guess at that Rotten Tomatoes fan score. All three of us, since we're all three up in this bitch. Losers for the week. I'm gonna say 85.
I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna make up a bunch of accounts and bomb the shit out of this thing.
Fucking troll.
I'm going to go 92.
Motherfucker, I'll go 70 again. Fuck it. I ain't doing that. I ain't going any higher.
Alrighty, folks, thank you for listening. Check out the website, horriblefilmschool.com, and find links to all the podcast platforms and all the social stuff. Give us a follow, leave a review, send us some tightly woven miniature wicker men. I am going to say goodbye and offer my support to women jumping over open flames in the nude for the sake of fertility.
As always, if you're hearing our voices, tell at least one person you know. Spread the love. Spread that campaign. And with that, I'm going to go learn how to do that better.
Thanks for all the likes, the subs, the listens, the follows, the downloads. We really appreciate you guys and gals' support, as well as your time and attention. Be sure to join us next time when we begrudgingly cover 2013's The Conjuring. Class dismissed.